Good morning. It's May the 12th. I'm hopefully going to be more regular in my walking the next little bit. Although I do have another trip to Saskatchewan, but that's not till Friday. So probably won't be any walking on the weekend, but I should get in a few times this week. It's a beautiful day. It's 25 degrees. It's going to 30, so it's going to be quite hot. And since it's a Monday, I used to always walk along the creek on Mondays, and so I thought I'd walk along the creek today. Although I'm not exactly sure which path I'll follow yet. I noticed I had mail in my mailbox, so I had to post his on the job this morning. Apparently there's a risk of another mail strike, but quite pleasant right now, but you can tell it's going to be warm. And it's warm now, but you can tell it's going to be quite warm because it's only 11 in the morning. So yes, my last trip to Saskatchewan was for the Saskatchewan Library Association. And again, I probably had time to go out and walk, but I got busy doing other things and didn't. That's my biggest downfall in walking now. So I don't seem to have the time that I used to, and it's because of the publishing company. So it's not going to change anytime soon. Eventually it will, but now I've still got lots to do with Shadowpaw Press. Yeah, we'll just do the usual walk, I guess. We'll go down to the creek. I guess I could take a slightly different path. Go this way first and then go down to the creek. Maybe I'll do that. Trip along Leopold Cresant here, a little piece of it. Things are starting to look like spring for real now. The trees coming out with their leaves. Grass growing. Being quite shaggy, actually. Well, I wouldn't call it summer yet. It's only spring. Not summer for another month and a bit. They painted their sidewalk. It's kind of nice. Could, of course, just keep walking straight ahead and climb up onto the dike there, and then come down the other side coming back. That'd be a little different. Did that, then we'd be walking around opposite direction than I often do, which is fine. Perhaps a bit less efficient on the path, so we'll go to the dike first here. Good morning, Ashok. It's funny, it's 25 now. I've been seeing these silly stories out of the UK, where my daughter is right now, talking about this, blistering heat wave, and the temperature is going to be like this, and it's absolutely beautiful. 25, might go to 28. That's just silly. I mean, it's just silly. It was 30 here, 31. We don't even, it was a warm day, but certainly not you don't get any kind of heat warning till 35 or more than that. The hottest temperature ever recorded in Canada was here in Saskatchewan back in the 30s. It was in Mydale, Saskatchewan. The temperature reached 114 degrees Fahrenheit. And I've seen plenty of days over 100 Fahrenheit, which is 38 Celsius. Probably gets there or close to that every summer. And then in the winter, of course, it's the opposite direction. It goes down to minus 38 or minus 40. So, yeah, 114 Fahrenheit would be 40 something. 45. That'd be about right. Yeah, maybe even more like 40. 47, I think, would be 114 Fahrenheit. That's hot anywhere in the world. Although certainly there are plenty of places that get that way more often than we do, but still, they don't usually also get -40 in the wintertime. So yay, we win for one of the world's most extreme climates when it comes to variation. We're not quite at the trees blossoming. When they do, this tree down here is always very pretty. So it won't be too long, it should be covered with white blossoms. Briefly, our flowering trees never stay flowered very long, but it'll be pretty very soon now. I don't know what kind of tree it is. It drops apples or something. Or is it apples, crab apples? Or oh, it is starting to blossom. Look. Look, look. It is starting to bloom. Yeah, so probably it'll be at its peak in another few days. I'll have to come back this way if I get a chance. You don't see bicycles up there very often. Okay, we go up on the dike. Yeah, in the sun, it's noticeably warm for walking. I'm starting to, build up some internal warmth from exercise. I'll go to the gym this afternoon for more exercise. Well, there's some blossoms happening there too, so it is starting to happen. Spring is busting out all over. Oh, there's somebody walking the dog. This will not be a dog-free walk. They never are, especially along here. There's a couple of bicycles over there too. These people have jobs or school to be at. Can they be out at the same time as I am? Can't all be self-employed. We'll go over the bridge. Oh, here comes more dogs. Hey, well, one more dog, 2 people. It might be a little lower than the last time I came. Probably not flowing as fast as it was right after the snow melted. Apparently it's very dry in the north. There's concern about forest fires. In fact, I think they've already started. So I promised someone I'd look at this plaque. Saskatchewan Creek Rehabilitation Project, Riverside Reach. City of Regina, with advice from citizens, carried out reconstruction of the flood protection works between Albert Street and Elphinstone Street. Creative open space planning and geotechnical, using creative open space planning and geotechnical and bioengineering technology. The dike was initially built in 1956, with extensions carried out in 1971 and 1974, preliminary design and examining, it's kind of hard to read, overcome the deterioration in 1997, the detailed design and construction was undertaken in 3 phases starting in 2002 and was completed in 2009. That's what the plaque says. I thought there was one on the bridge itself, but I didn't see anything about the bridge. I guess I've seen that plaque and thought it referred to the bridge and then never read it. It's actually about the dikes. Right, there's the creek, Saskatchewan Creek looking east. And Saskatchewan Creek looking west. We will continue in this direction. If the waterfall is running, we'll go down by there, but I doubt they've turned it on yet. They might have. Usually things sort of start to really kick into summertime stuff after Victoria Day, which is next Monday, a week from today. And there's another, this time it's a baby being pushed, not a dog. Did not get a smile from them. Good grief, there's people all over the stupid path. I actually hate that because you never know how they're going to feel about the camera. Usually they just ignore it, or I get a smile, but you never know. I've had one or two people complain over the years. Another bicycle. Walk down the other side of the dike, it probably has fewer people on it as a rule, but not entirely. Or dogs on that side, I think, sometimes. Some red-winged blackbirds sitting along here. Blackbirds, anyway. These blackbirds, I don't see the distinctive red wings, so these are something else. I should know what they are, but they're birds. How's that? On his park up here is the waterfall running. Don't hear it. Nope, they haven't turned it on yet. But down there's people down there too enjoying the sun. Now, if we want to be more adventurous, we can follow a path down here in the woods, and this might be a good time to do it because the grass hasn't grown up very much, and so less risk of ticks. So the path is right there, but there's also this slightly more meandering and not official path here. I just got twigs in my hair, brushing under a tree. You're a little closer to the creek, of course. Occasionally bicycles come down here, but there's at least one place where you'd really have to be careful. At least there was. There was a tree that was definitely a little low for a bicycle. So, not exactly the wilderness. There's the path, the official path. Once you get down here, you almost feel like you're in the woods. You get past this pump station or whatever it is. A lot of cords hanging over it for some reason. Seems to be getting power from the power pole that's right there. Dandelions are up, so they're always an early bloomer. This is the tree I'm thinking of. You'd have to be really aware of this one if you came along here on a bicycle. Because I have to duck under it just walking. Lots of chirpy birds. There's another one of those black birds right there. And a whole bunch of dead wood right here. Don't quite know why. Stuff that's been trimmed off the bushes and then dumped there. I don't know why I didn't pick it up. And along here, you're pretty close to the edge, and this kind of slopes a little bit towards the water. So if you fell somehow, tripped, or fell off your bicycle, you definitely end up in the creek. I don't know if anybody's ever done that, but I can certainly imagine doing it, and I wouldn't come along here when it's slippery for that reason. Ah, see, there's somebody with a dog on the other side of the creek. Later on, the grass is much higher along here, and as I said, then I start worrying about ticks. I've never had one attached to me, but I've had them on my socks after walking in long grass, although that was out in the country. And I think we do have Lyme disease in the province. You really want to avoid ticks if you can. I don't know if it's the specific kind of tick that carries Lyme. Well, we must, if we have it, we must have that tick too. I don't know if it's around here or more in the Cypress Hills area, because it's I don't know. So I should probably quit talking about it, but not knowing something has never stopped me from talking below. Oh, look, they're grooming the, maybe I'll go up here now. They're grooming the ball diamonds. If they're not open, maybe they're already open. They will be soon. Could stay down there a little bit, but we'll walk up here now. I can't see the screen. For some reason, it's just the sun's too bright. So if you're saying anything, I may not see it. So my brightness is turned up. Just my eyes are turned down because it's so bright. So I could check. Now the brightness is full, so it's just too bright to see the screen very easily. Creek continues over there. I don't know if there's a path along that side or not, close to the water. Never tried, never gone to look. The ball diamond. There's what, 3 or 4 along here. Some nicer than others, with stands and all that stuff. There's even a concession stand further down in a clubhouse. These are the horseshoe pitches. Regina Horseshoe Club. Once, in all the years I've been walking, I think I've actually seen somebody out here. They're kept up every year, so somebody must be using them. They probably have a regular scheduled time when the club comes out and plays horseshoes. There's a sign here that gives contact information if you'd like to join Regina Horseshoe Club. I played horseshoes not maybe 2 or 3 times in my life. It's always something I associated with my older relatives in Missouri. When I was a kid, they would be playing horseshoe. All these old guys. Well, they were old guys to me then. I'm undoubtedly older than most of them were when I saw them playing horseshoes. Just generic grown-ups at that point. You don't really distinguish much. Grown-ups are old, you're young. That's all that really matters. Most of my visits to Missouri, in fact, all of them, I think, until much later, but as a kid was when I went, because that's where my parents would go, because that's where my mom's family was from, was Missouri. I have a lot of relatives there. Still can't see the screen, so if you've commented, I'm sorry if I'm not responding. 3 more people who apparently have nothing to do except walk on the park. 2 more bicyclists who have nothing to do. It's Monday, for crying out loud. Why aren't all these people in work or school or somewhere? There's a bicycle up behind me, too. Oh, it's a scooter. The creek, we'll be crossing it up here at this bridge. You can just see again up there now. Those are probably could be high school students. Sheldon Williams Collegiate is right over there somewhere. Perhaps they have a spare period before lunch or something like that. A duck down there. Sometimes you hear pigeons when you're on the bridge up here. I might shorten my walk and just walk along the creek when I get up here. Could also walk down this side, maybe. Maybe I'll do that. I've been in that for a while, and it should be dry. So last time I walked along here, there was still a lot of water on the other side from the snow melt, but it must surely have dried up by now. So maybe I'll stay on this side of the creek, take the path down by the river. Down by the riverside. 2 more dogs. I haven't kept a count, but that's at least 5. Maybe 6 or 7. We won't cross the bridge here. We'll go all the way up to the Pasqua Street Bridge. Here is said bridge. We will go this way. Seed pods on some of the trees now. Or are those, well, actually those are blossoms of a sort flowering. I thought it was a little early for seed pods. They usually come along after the flowers, obviously. This guy's just standing up here. I don't know what he's doing. Is there a dog involved? Is he just standing there? I don't know. Here's the creek again. Get a different view of it from over here. That forest they planted over there, which is still just saplings at the best. Ah, there's a dog. Good dog. Training going on there. Here he goes again. So they must have put stuff out there for him to bring back. More bicycles over there. It's quite busy along here today. I didn't expect that on a Monday morning. Still 45 minutes to lunch. Now the question is, do I walk down the other side of the park, or do I go over here and walk down this side of the street? Vary things. I think I'll cross the bridge and go around the park like I usually do. It wasn't that long ago I walked out onto the ice from that spot over there. Can't do that now. Is that the spot? Or maybe it's further up. The spot like that. Yeah, because I think it's the other side of this pump station here, where the other low spot is that I sometimes walk out onto the ice midwinter. That was probably only 2 months ago that I did that. Here we are. March 11th? Yeah, it's probably along in there. March 12th when I came along and walked out on the ice. I guess it's further up here is the low spot I was thinking of. Maybe right over there, or even a little further. It's not that. It's a little further than that. Maybe there. Get a view of the bridge, so it can't be too far down the bank. That's some sort of message. I hope my feed didn't quit. So if I did, I'm talking to myself. If it did, it's possible it just got a bad connection along here because of the leaves and stuff. That's it, right there. I think that's where I walked out onto the ice from. All right, we have to go up and over the bridge. I have no idea. There was some sort of message. There's probably just an unstable internet connection, so that all may have been quite choppy. I don't know, but it is what it is. You have the option of uploading the recording, which I used to do all the time, but mostly I've just left up the live stream recording because it's quick and who really cares? Nobody has ever said, oh, if there's too much buffering, they just watch the parts that work. I still see the walk. Edward Street is over there, but not going up there today to my namesake street. It's the Blue Van Expressway on the other side down there. The car's going by. We'll go over the bridge, which was that last year or the year before? This was all torn up and being worked on. Okay, there's the creek again from a different viewpoint. I don't walk over this bridge all that often. You can see downtown in that direction, the spires of the cathedral, a few other tall buildings. Not quite the heart of downtown, but the side of downtown. Well, I guess the two twin towers are down there. 3 towers, really, but for a while there were 2 of them. We called them the Twin Towers. Those canoes will be in the water soon for schools, if they haven't already. Maybe, let me think. Maybe I'll go this way, just to keep it along the creek. More interesting. So we'll join this side of the creek. Oh, yeah, when I came here with the water everywhere last time, the water was so high you couldn't go under the bridge. But not now. Oof. There's always places that you can trip if you're not careful. Tree roots will push up, like what I just tripped on. Tree root, which is bursting up through the pavement, so it's made a bump. Yeah, this is where I walked out onto the ice a couple of months ago. So I used to walk along the creek every Monday, and every Friday I walked around the lake. And somewhere along the way I got out of that habit. And I can't start Friday around the lake yet because I won't be here on Friday. And then there's going to be more travel, so I don't know that I'll get back to that. And I don't know that I'll keep doing this every Monday, but at least today I did. Cooler going this way, breeze in my face. So we'll take the dirt path along the creek up here too, on the other side of that city truck. Not silly truck, but city truck. There was a muskrat, but it's just a floating stick. They're working on taking that tree down for some reason. Either that or there are beavers around. But they wouldn't take something that big, so maybe they trimmed one side of it. That must be what happened. So they left the central bit, but trimmed the bits that were sticking out at weird angles. They're inside there doing something, don't know what. They do trim the trees here, as you can see. There's a few stumps like that. Keep the path open, I guess. Over there too, which wouldn't be to keep the path open, but maybe they just break, or I don't know. Tree pruning is a thing that they do a lot of sometimes. Something just splashed in the water. Is that a muskrat or a bird? There's a duck over there. That must have been what it was. Here's that forest that they planted. Not much action yet. I'm sure they'll have a lot of losses too, but over time that's supposed to grow up into a substantial stand of trees. A few of them now protected with little sleeves. I imagine every colored flag means that something was planted there, but it doesn't look like all of them have come up very far. So they may have to keep planting and replanting until they get a substantial. There's some bigger, like a little grove of bigger saplings there in the middle. A lot more sleeves down here. I presume every one of those marks a sapling that has arisen. I don't know if they planted saplings or, well, presumably you don't usually plant tree seeds. I don't know. Still not going over the bridge though. I'm going to keep walking down the path on the other side of the bridge, along this side of the creek. And then we'll go down the dike on this side of the river, on the other side, which is the shortest way home. I did something to my jaw last night. I still don't know what. It just hurt like crazy for a while. But overnight it got better, and now I'm hardly noticing it at all. I don't know what that was all about. It's like I reacted to too hot a bite, and I kind of twisted my mouth away from the heat, and my jaw started hurting. It's like I pulled something, or I don't know. Anyway, it seems to be going away, so that's good. I won't head to the dentist just yet. I think you get more bikes along here than people walking. You can sort of tell because it's a very narrow dirt path here. Now, I may not stay on the creek because to cross, I need to go up this way. Maybe I'll just cut across the grass here because that's a big loop I don't need to make. And I don't very often walk in the grass here. So. Playground over here, that's the Neil Balkwell Civic Arts Center there. Has an art gallery, and you can take art classes of various sorts. I think there's a kiln. There used to be a dark room, but I don't know that anybody knows how to use those anymore. I'm sure artsy people are still shooting film, but I doubt the city would bother keeping a dark room going. All right, come this way and line up some artwork that I usually see from the other side. There's something over there, don't know why. So this metal cutout here lines up with the piece of metal it was cut out of over there. Usually there's also a disc golf course here. So it looks better from the other way because, of course, once I get behind this, it's just going to disappear. But you can see how the two match up. There's two more dogs. The end of the bridge is right over here. We'll cross there and get on the dike on the other side. I have to jaywalk, but usually that busy. That's a seniors activity center there. It's alarming to me to think that I qualify to go to places like that now that I'm 65. I know what my dad meant. He used to go and do things at the senior center in Weyburn, but he never really felt like it was his thing. He said it was full of old people. Disc golf. Intellectually, I know I'm 65, but I don't really think of myself as a senior citizen. Give me 10 years, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. I'll still be working. I'll still be writing. I may not be publishing, but I'll be writing. Right, we can jaywalk. Excellent. I'd be writing more than ever. Once I get rid of the publishing side of things, I'll just write. And if I can't find a publisher, I'll just put it out there because it's easy to do, and I have some knowledge of it now. So I anticipate being more prolific in my later years. And people already think I'm prolific, but in fact, I haven't done nearly enough writing for 3 or 4 years now. I'm well into a new novel called The Fifth Magic that I think it's going to be a good one. I have a publisher interested in it, so I need to finish it. But again, the publishing side of things really eats into my writing time. And then I must have 10 or 12 outlines for things I would like to write, never mind new ideas that come along. And when I do write, I can be very fast. I've written a 100,000-word novel in a month. I've written 50,000 words in a week. I've written 60,000-word complete book in 2 weeks. The 50,000 was a middle section of Magebane, which is coming out in a new edition in August, September, November. I don't remember when I said it before. But the middle 50,000, and I did that at the Banff Center, which I'd love to go back to and just write sometime. But point in doing that, I've got all the publishing stuff to worry about. Twice I went to a program called Writing with Style. You're supposed to focus on your writing. And the first time I couldn't really focus on much writing because I had a deadline for a nonfiction book I was working on. A biography of the Ayatollah Khomeini, of all things, for children. So I went back again another time, and it was at the next one where it was a morning exercise where Robert J. Sawyer, who is the instructor, said us to write the opening of a story, just go without any thought. And that sentence or two I wrote that morning turned into a short story, which is in my short story collection, but then became Maraguro, which was my second novel for Daw Books. They picked up my first one, lost in translation, from another publisher, so I needed something to follow up. Maraguro was my proposal. They bought it. It came out, and it won the Aurora Award for Best Canadian Science Fiction Novel in English that year. And the sequel, Terra and Segura, was also shortlisted. But unfortunately, the third book never happened. So there's one I could still write. It's all plotted. And I've got other series I could carry on. Magebane has a plotted sequel. It wouldn't be a trilogy, but I think it would be a duo. Oh, there's even cherry blossoms up there. Could be a duology. Maraguro, Terran Segura, there's a third book. I don't know what it would be called, but there's a third book waiting to be written. My World Shaper series has 3 books. It could go on for multiple books. It needs at least 2 to finish the overarching story. I guess we are into full blossoming just about. Cherry blossoms. What usually happens here is blossoms come out and then we get a big windy day and they all blow off. So they never linger as long as you'd like. But I guess that's true everywhere. Blossom season is always rare and short. Not rare, but short. Okay, getting close now. We'll cut through this park. So this is Garnet Street. Used to live down there, the last block. And up here is Leopold Cresant. So this is where the 2 split. And the Cresant goes this way. There's usually rabbits in here. I don't see them at the moment. So maybe the warren or whatever that was around here has moved on or died out. Some construction happening over there. Be a garage. Right, we're on Leopold Cresant. Smaller house end of it. The houses get significantly grander as you get closer to Albert Street here on Leopold. We could have had a bigger house on Leopold, except it was the Depression when my grandfather-in-law, Samson Goodfellow, bought the house we live in now. They bought it in 1939. If not for the poor economic situation at the time, they probably would have bought a bigger house, Leopold Cresant, and we'd now have a bigger house, but it didn't happen. Mostly old houses, but there's some newer ones along here too. This is a very, you see this style a lot with that high peak in the middle. I think it must have been a developer that really liked it. Or they ordered it from a catalog, I don't know. Oh, that one's blooming very nicely too, look. For a pretty house here with the blooming tree on the left. Might be my thumbnail. That's what I'm looking for. All right, well, we might as well go through the alley because this will take me right up to my Cresant, Angus Cresant. This is an interesting house. I don't remember the details, but I remember it was in my book, Historic Walks of Regina and Moose Jaw. You can tell old garages, they have much smaller doors than modern garages, I think. Because cars were smaller. Oh, I had no idea we were going to see so many flowers on this walk. Shows you how indoorsy I've been recently. Glad we have air conditioning. I hope it's working. Last year, I think, it quit. We had to get it fixed and had to make do with just a fan during hot weather. If it's not working, now's the time to find out because there's no, I mean, it's going to be warm today, but it's cooling off again for a bit after this, I think. In fact, I think there's rain in the forecast. It did rain last night briefly, just long enough to mess up the car I just washed, of course. The heavy rain isn't so bad. Also, see this, the elm trees are starting to drop pollen and stuff. So your car ends up covered with yellow dust and sometimes sticky sap. Not much you can do about it. Well, I could park the car in the back, I guess, but normally we've been parking it on the street. Maybe I should move it to the back. It's probably too late though. Judging by these cars, they've already gotten pretty spotted. Of course, they were sitting out here in the rain last night too. The car I just washed is red, so it'll show the dirt. Okay, we're coming up to the intersection where I will stop this walk. As we go past this lovely house, which I have been in once. They have a nice gazebo and a moat. I don't know if they pull up the drawbridge or what. In fact, I don't know how you get there. There must be some path into it. It's not completely surrounded by water, I guess. Alrighty. This is the corner of Angus Cresant and Retallick, and this is where I will stop. So thanks for walking with me, and